Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon. Okay, 4 o'clock. We've got a couple more now. Okay, yeah, I happen to have gold up looking at it. I think it's setting up for a short about this iffy dollar, and it's still being very iffy, this dollar. Sorry about the jargon. It's not exactly high economic jargon, but iffy, I can't. Very iffy it is. Hovering around the 105, bounces up, comes back, then decides to bounce up again. In other words, they don't know any more than I know where that dollar's going. So we tend to follow the smart money. If the smart money doesn't know, well, we're not big enough to set the trend. So just keep an eye on it. Okay, but I think that's setting up for a sell possibility. It might get to 800. Where's the stop? That's the stop above there anyway, popped up there. If you get somewhere around this level here and the dollar remains above 105, we might get a bit of a pullback. So just keep an eye on it. Not saying you jump in now. Maybe later on the session, have another look at it. Just keep an eye on it. Okay. I just want to look at the Euro JPY. I was against it. It looks like, unfortunately, Jethro's idea. Looks like if you followed it, don't think many people did. It's not doing too badly last I looked. Yep, it's, well, it's actually popped up again now. It was down at 143.60 at one stage. The sell came in at 144. It's popped up 20. It seems to be doing what everything else does, whether they go long or short, moving pretty much in an iffy direction. Can't think of a better word. Very iffy. Okay, so until you closed it out on a profit, I don't think anyone can say whether you're a winner or loser just yet. So just be aware of that. Okay, just let these guys in here. Euro JPY. Another one looked at NZD USD. I don't think many people are keen on it. Came up, and I'll look at it again anyway. Did it get going? No, it didn't really get going. It's probably best left alone. But that's about like everything else. Now, a good go figure area. The good old US dollars are. If you took the 1710 entry, you know, with a couple of pips in profit, but it's just look at that. That's the day. Let's look at reality. Probably get more measures. It's coming off and going up. Probably come off. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why it's not taking off on the upside. The dollar against, you know, rand weakening. Big talk about junk bond. Talking about Eskom 8. If it gets to £12, we're completely dead off the grid. Then we've got a serious problem. That's not going to be funny. No piss takes then, my friend. That is, I can't tell you how serious that is. But all back to that as it may, that is screaming for sell the rand by the dollar. Not happening, but maybe it should do. At least it's, if you went for that trade, it's slightly in profit. Brent, that's right. Brent, start to come right. I'm still nervous. Hell of this bloody thing, actually. Hurts a lot of the market at the moment, to be honest. Very nervous. When you feel them smart money, that's what I say. It's very important to understand what the smart money is doing. And if they don't know which direction to go, who is it for us to say we know better? You know what I mean? And Brent, sorry. Brent, now it's coming back down here. You know what I mean? No, it's had a bit of a move up from 76-ish and to 79, I felt. Then it's come off a bit. I'm still nervous of it, but just keep an eye on it, okay? NZD CHF, when that was a trade idea, started to come right and did the normal thing, bounced back up again, got a short on it. Let's see what it's doing now. It's slightly in profit, but it was a little bit better earlier on, if you see what I mean. Eventually came off down here So it was at one stage, what did we get in at? DCHF, 89, 81. It was a princely 15, 20 pips up at one stage. Then it started to pop up again to slightly above 3-4 pips in the black, in the red. And now it's, well, looks like it's about a couple of pips or so in the blue, breaking even area. Very, 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 very sideways. I want to go to the NASDAQ. Let's go back. We've got the hour on as well. Let's try the 15 minutes. Popped up a bit and then sellers came in. What it's going to open up, I haven't a fucking clue, to be honest. Anything could happen at the moment. When this happens, don't try and get cute. Just don't try and get cute. Believe me, there's guys there with multi-million-dollar computer setups there, unlimited budgets with PhD analysts, and they don't know. Don't think we should get too cute. So just you got what you're going. I sent this one out, and that's about all today. I don't think you even got one out yesterday. That's very rare. So guys, just join my QT WhatsApp group. I say you get lots of signals. Yes, you do. Anyone who's been a member for a while will back me up on that. Not me saying it, they will as well. But I ain't going to send a signal when the smart money doesn't know. And I'm not going to. I believe in self-belief, but I'm not. You know, I don't think I'm no, but more than they do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm being a little bit circumspect, to say the least. Okay.
But Roger, I did see the NASI and the SP moved a little bit when the initial jobless claims was announced, but it was exactly what they expected, 230.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you very much for what I thought about that. Yeah, the jobless claims came out, and that's very, very rare that happens. Have seen it before a couple of times, but not very often. When it's exactly on the point, exactly 230. You're quite right. It had a bit of, I think, maybe a knee-jerk reaction to computer buy limits, stop limits, or what? Sorry, stop limits, stop sells, or whatever. Stop buy, sell stops. Had a little bit of a jerk on that. Almost the computer was surprised because it's so unreal till it settles down. Obviously, they just pull those orders and back to drifting around. We're drifting on the tide a bit, but thanks for the reminder. Yeah, thought about to mention that. Jobless claims came out and it was exactly on the nail. So no indication in that section. We can't tell us whether it goes 75 or 50 next month. It was neither inflation or deflation, exactly as expected. Thanks for pointing that out. And I thought you said when you had said I saw a bit of movement in the NAS, I thought you'd say I saw a bit of movement in NGAS. You give me a heart attack if you said that. Just joking. Okay, right, where were we? So yeah, I don't know if FXS, it's an American thing, and copied and saved it down here. I just want to just go over here. New to trading, avoid these mistakes to protect your money. And I think it might be worth basically sharing with you. Now, it's more or less like me speaking the stat record, but you know, if I say it, yeah, it's all right, he says it, but if you get some American, who's American anyway, saying it as well, it might have a bit of impact just to back up what I've been saying. So if you've got any trade ideas, please tell me, and that comes first. But if you like, I would just mind going through this, if that's okay with you. Would you mind sharing that? Any problem with that? It won't take long just to do this quickly, share this little article there. It's about avoiding these mistakes. Are you happy with that? If you say no, I won't do it. I don't want to bore you. You happy with that?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, fine. Right, I'm just going to stop the share. Okay, share screen. Where is it now? I'm just going to put the chat line and the others just on the other screen so I can see it myself clearly. Right, I don't know who this guy is, but anyway, obviously a trader of some sort. He would be allowed to have the article in. New to trading, avoid the, I'll read it out, but you can read yourself here. Avoid these mistakes to protect your money. Is there any tool, indicator, or market approach that has 100% accuracy? That's rhetorical, you don't know. Let's let this guy in. Where is he now? Okay, the answer is a clear, straightforward no. That's what half these guys are trying to tell you, and they're trying to sell you on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And you look at all these things and press and always the money. Remember, guys, a zero-sum game. Every time you win, someone's lost. And if you haven't a clue what's going on, you're winning every time. I'd love to find the people who are losing every time to make that up. They must make Forrest Gump seem like a genius, but try and use a bit of common sense is what I meant. Trading the markets is all about the decision in certain moment to be right in price direction and timing. In other words, look at the view as you got at the moment. Can't do any more than that. But there are tools and different approaches that can help you trade to not lose money. In other words, let's hear me go on about it. Never mind the profit. Make sure you equity management, not to lose money. The profit look after themselves, which should be the first goal of everyone. Again, what I've been trying to push through here. So before you start making profits, you have to set your goal not to lose money in the first year or two. We don't say that in sales because it puts people off. They think you're going to make money gung-ho like straight away. Well, I mean, you're going to make money as a doctor after one day at college, but you know, people's greed and dreams take over their rationality. So yeah, it does take a bit of time. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to be honest with you. Only when you can achieve that, then you'll be able to move to second goal, making profits. So stop asking to sell what professionals do to make profits, but rather ask what those do are losing money to learn from their mistakes. Because professionals, you ain't one yet. It takes a bit of time to get there. You're not a doctor yet, so rather ask to stop the mistakes of people who are losing money. Hence what we try to do that trading. All right, you do occasionally the trading, probably in your emotional movements, but we're trying to sort of work on that basis as a backup, as if you remember me saying that on many occasions. I described some of them below. Actually, step-by-step mistakes that traders do can lead to closing an account. Okay, account size. God, do I go on about this? The first issue is the money in your account. This is going to shock you to read this. In my opinion, 90% of traders are losing money, not because they would not know how to trade, but because they have too small trading accounts. Have you heard that before from one? But still want to make large profits to cover living costs. It's incredible, but yes, they do. There are a lot of brokers with promotion offering trade account for 500 euro, not 500 rand, 500 euro. And what's that about? It's about 8,000 rand or less. Brokers know that there are a lot of retail brokers with 500 euros in their pocket, but not so many of those who have 20,000 euros for a trading account. So bottom line is, you want to trade, you need money. That's it. Well, it's a business, of course you do. And people get all shocked and horror when I say it. Here's a backup. In my opinion, even new retail traders should need about 20,000 euros minimum. We're talking here about 170,000 rand. Get the point. The guys who come with 300 or 400 puts in perspective to be able to trade normal risk side with normal leverage and allow acceptable drawdowns without any headaches. Now, if you can take a knock, you're still in the game. If you've got a couple of bucks in your account, one knock, you're out. There's also EU law, and I've been mentioning this as well, and in America as well, the trading leverage, which is it's another reason why account size matters. That's, in other words, it's starting to make law to reduce leverage. There's too many guys come with highly leveraged accounts, haven't a clue what that means, and thinks it's an example of a quick buck with a small amount of money. And in the end, they blow what little they've got because it's over leveraged and they don't understand it. Okay, that's another point. Position size. Hallelujah. I've heard this one before. So if we consider the issue described above, then we know where too big position size comes from. It's not because they want to risk a lot of percentage, but because simply trades have small accounts and they will not trade micro lots up and down. So understand then why risk on small account is not 2% per trade, but most likely 5 to 10%. You're kidding me. I've seen 40, 50%. If this guy only knew. Unfortunately, this can lead to disaster very quickly. And he's talking 5 to 10, not even talking 30, 40%, which a lot of guys are doing out there. Think about it. If you risk 50 to 100 euro per trade on 1,000 euro accounts, that sounds okay, right? Based on the size of the money, let's write this down. Based in size of the money, that's not big amount, so it seems okay. Now, psychologically, 50 euros doesn't sound much. Well, I think half these guys, I think it's a fortune, some of them, sound much. But based on percentage, we're going about as well, look at percentage, not the amount, percentage is not, and that's where traders fail. What if you have 100,000 euros in your account? Would you risk 5 to 10,000 on each trade? I'm sure your answer is no. You don't need to make that big amount to cover normal living costs. So in other words, the guy with a big account doesn't have to risk much to cover what he needs. A guy with a tiny account, to make anything out of it, has got to take astronomical risk, which always, even for an expert, ends up in tears. A guy who doesn't know what he's doing, he's a complete beginner, which is a virtual guarantee. Get my point. Not using stops, not closing or not closing a trade. This is another common one I go on about all the time. So let's assume that your new trader avoided first 2 mistakes. He has enough of money to trade, so he's fine with risking only 1% of the account. The international norm is about 2%. I'm okay with 3, 1 to 3. That's what I normally do. I average probably on mine about 1.5 to 2. What is the next mistake that can lead to a disaster? I think it's about no proper exit scenario on a losing trade. Absolutely. I've met people who are making nice profits at the start, but then suddenly their account was getting killed by just 1 or a few trades that they didn't close when they should. And it just became worse and worse, their account. Now we hold on to losers and we close the winners because we're scared the wind's going to take away from us, and we're just praying and hoping that the loss will turn to profit, so we hang on in there. Total psychology. They were praying, waiting, praying, of course, getting down their knees, literally, and praying to the deity, waiting for position to turn in their favor, at least to minimize the loss that went extreme. But in many cases, this won't happen. It just goes against you. Have I seen that almost on a daily basis? Absolutely. What is the solution? Calculate risk exit point. Do I go on about that like a stat record? Calculator. Absolutely. Before you enter the trade, you have to admit when you were wrong. Difficult, you've got to do it. Look, I made a say, sorry, I was wrong there, Zeph. You're quite right. You're a JPY, Jethro. I was wrong, you're quite right. This is part of what you've got to learn to be able to do. And it's crucial to go, and this is crucial to go out of a losing trade, invest money somewhere where you see a good structure. Why to sit and wait on the train if this one is already gone? Rather look for taxi or bus station. Now the ship has sailed. Get off it, go on another one. Don't sit on it, kicking on the wrong direction. Get off the bloody bus, get one that goes in the right one. Revenge trading. I love it. I like it. Parroting everything I've been saying. Were you short and you got stopped out and then you shorted again because market moved slightly lower? Tempted on the Brent, remember, after your first position was out? Or do you open a buy trade and stop on your first trade was triggered? And what happened in most of the case, you're probably being again stopped out, lost even more when you planned. No, than you planned. Sorry, didn't test it properly. Yes, we have all been there. It's called a revenge trading solution. Just do not do it. Simple as that. If you're stopped out, you're done with that trade, go aside. Step back and do mind reset, relax. Come back next day with new ideas, new trade plans. What about trade mistakes based on technical approach? Well, not easy to be smart here, as there are plenty of different methodologies out of trade. Again, some going on about. I like the MACD, you like the move, you like, I don't know, the 21 crossing the simple exponential or whatever, the stochastics crossing the MACD or overbought the relative strength, or your MACD is diverging, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's got slightly different ones. That's why I try to keep mine straightforward, keep an eye on the price action support, keep an eye on the fundamental support, and set these guys in support and resistance. Well, not to be smart, as there are plenty of methodologies how to trade. It's not really just one that may work, but there are a few points that may help. Early entries. If I identify resistance where I want to sell, I do not sell immediately. In other words, you wait for confirmation, unless you want to be aggressive. I've done it a few times, but at least you're aware of what you're doing. You normally wait on market reaction around that zone. And if I see reaction lower, then this is my confirmation to go with the flow. I want that market confirmation, my buyers first. That's what we've got about here, nothing new there. Closing winners too early. I love it. You are long. I made some nice profits. It's far into 3-to-1 risk reward. You don't get close to that most of the time, where you want to close. I've seen guys go out when they've moved back 5 pips in profit because they get so scared, and then wonder why the commission is higher, and they start screaming and shouting. You know, again, completely clueless, trying to get into a sophisticated derivative instrument. It's frightening. That is fine, but since you see market strong upward momentum, why to close here, since there's always room for even more extended legs that bring you in much more profits? I also identify my reward targets. When these are achieved, I will aggressively pull my stops, modify my stops. Remember, close to market price, will leave some options on the table since market always surprised for a larger move. In other words, you're win-win. If it stops you out of profit, fair enough. You get a larger move. What a cherry, fantastic cherry on the top. I do not want to close my winners too early. All what I want is that the market turn where to get out and then let them tell my profits to run. When's the market to get out? It's easy said than done, by the way. Most difficult thing in trading. There's no clear cut error on that. I'll be fair on that. Okay. Trade clear patterns on different markets. What new traders do when they join trading field? They open chart of euro dollar, GBP dollar, whatever, and they'll trade only those two pairs. You cannot trade and be focused on only one instrument all the time. You cannot trade euro dollar in and out constantly. It won't work well since market conditions change. Your portfolio or understanding, basically what they mean, should be across different assets. Because sometimes forex will be moving and something nothing's happening at all. Some of it won't. It's dead as a doornail. So you've got nothing else to do. So what do? You're full time. Now you're going to read a book and then you're going to miss a trade. You're going to get bored, do daft things. So stocks will be on the move. Next time, only commodities. It's important to trade and focus on clear patterns in different markets. Some of us get nothing on any of them. I get that, but you see what they're getting at. You have to recognize the clear structure in first 20 seconds. What I say when you get your chart, all right, that's take a bit of practice. I do it every morning. I go through in 20 seconds, in fact, probably later on 1 or 2 seconds, actually, with practice. You can immediately see, like a headline, is there potential in this one? If not, move on. Have I been mentioning this? It takes a bit of practice, but at least something to aim for. Okay, 20 seconds, otherwise quite a long time, but 20 seconds is fine. If not, then the market is not clear, so move on. Like I said, and search for some clear patterns somewhere else. Absolutely. Okay. Cryptocurrencies, don't worry about cryptos. We don't have them here. They're not regulated. Play around at your own, fair enough. Not saying they're wrong, far from it, but they're not regulated. So you've got no recourse if you get someone to pull a fast one on you, put it that way. Can't go to the Ombudsman, the FSCA, they're not regulated. Indicators, do not rely on indicators on robots 100%. RSA, MACD, and similar are calculated out of the price action. They lag the price action, like we mentioned. First, you need to know market price to build it in the first place. It doesn't tell you before it rains, it tells you after it's raining. So how can these indicators then show you in which direction we go from here? However, they can be helpful anyway, but how to confirm your personal opinion. In other words, confirmation, like I often use a candlestick confirmation to entry about the market move. I like it because it's instant on the candle. On a short-term one, you can see the buyers and sellers moving it by the wicks. It's more instant to me. That's why I like it. But that's up to you what user confirmation. It's the same thing with robots. Some may work very good, but still a human mind has to be involved to avoid some bad market signals. Now, as a robot can't think. It doesn't know the non-farm, the CPI, the reaction to the DXY is coming up. It can only say, well, that one's crossed, that one will go into it. It doesn't know it might be a good idea. It's near getting near resistance. And there's a fat economic funding coming out just now, which might have the reverse effect. But that's basically where it's at. And I hope you found that of interest. Okay. It's been what I've been saying, reiterate over and over and over again, trying to get it through to people. I hope a third opinion for the newer guys might get clarity to say, let's approach this in a more professional, commonsensical, basically, and a better manner than this half-hearted dream stuff, as Lorinda said, flogged on YouTube and all the other intermediaries, which is usually there after likes and the money and then things they get from advertising from the million likes they get, rather than having any effective use in your bank balance, if you get my point. Okay. So there we are. And you probably all look at yourself rather embarrassed, saying, oh, God, yeah, that's applied to me a lot of the time. But without doubt, the biggest one is the small position account size. Because remember, every broker wants boards and boards of people on board. Because I mean, the market maker gets is taking the opposite side, so that's fine. But you know what I mean. You've got to think for yourself and say, if I've got very little capital, I get a battle to complete. And if you're starting off small and you're going to build on it, I have no problem with that. But please, guys, when you start arguing with me, and I'm trying to explain, they do get quite stroppy with me. I'm taking my 100 rand to another broker. I try to be polite, but it's everything I could do, and I burst out laughing. What sodding broker wants your business? You're wasting their time, never mind your own, because you've got squat, there's nothing in it. And if they can't get that concept, I don't quite know where they're going to go anywhere, never mind in trading, because it's so utterly commonsensical. Who's going to put you in the front of the queue? You go to the bank saying, I want to invest 50 rand. You get in the queue. You go with 10 million, you go straight to the manager. It's absolutely bloody common sense. But somehow they're just so, I don't know, they're so fixated they're going to get wine out of water. Well, hopefully they don't lose it 50 rand finding out how likely it is. Well, so this is on FXS. You can get it in the Play Store. It's like a mirrorism. It's an app. Quite like it now and again. A lot of this set me as junk, and it's obvious. And they say, you know, the Nasdaq's about to move or Eurodollar's about to move. Well, I'm in the business. Use that one if you like as well. There's FXS, I think. FX Street, I think is purely, what do you call it? Yeah, economic fundamentals. But anyway, look it up anyway. It could be that one. FXS anyway. It comes that little box of FXS in the App Store. But yeah, a lot of stuff. They flash on your screen. Eurodollar looks to be going up. Well, if I'm in the business, I know it's going up a month. I see it going up. But so, you know, a lot of it's obvious. But I thought those little pointers there, mainly because I'm being on about the trading room as a third-party choice, an international guy, obviously but he is an expert. I presume you'll get the article there backing it up. Might sort of say, right, this might be worth acting on these principles and being disciplined into achieving them. Okay, because those areas, not because of lack of knowledge of market movements, those are the areas why day after day people come a cropper. Not because they're unintelligent, just because they're so emotionally fixated on what I call the something for nothing principle. And that seems to catch the majority of people on the earth. Clever people. That's how all these what do you call these things? Bernie Madoff's, what do you call it? What do you call those schemes? Ponzi schemes. How all these Ponzi schemes work is there's something for nothing. If people out there are still endlessly looking for the something for nothing, I call them the something for nothing brigade, and one or two get lucky and win the lottery, majority, I'm afraid, do not. Okay. It is, it's incredible, isn't it? Because the thing is, here's a little tip for you. The natural thing, 90% of the time, is the wrong thing to do. It's the unnatural thing, the right thing to do. I read once a golfer said, the golf is absolutely nothing natural about a golf swing. And that's why they earn the tom. If it was natural, it would be unskilled, you wouldn't get paid. So if it's a natural thing to do, it's an easy thing to do, it would be worthless. Why does unskilled labor get squat and skilled labor get more? But some other thing will come here and be unskilled, no idea, no money, no knowledge, no nothing, and makes a higher income than the skilled person. It's purely the dream overtaking the emotion to get the rational. Remember that thing I posted, that American saying, emotion always leads to rational. Think a little bit and you'll balance a bit more. Okay. Anyway, if Zeph's helped you out, I'm going to be honest with you guys here. I don't think you're making me the chairman of the board of the software department anytime soon. So yeah, thanks for helping me out there, Zeph. Good. Yeah, I think I know a bit about trading, but I have to say I was brought up in the slide rule, so I can obviously work my way around and do the job. But if I get into SH12 with it, I have to call the tech guys. I call the youngsters. Often an older guy comes, I've got a problem here. I said, have you got any youngsters in the house? Go and ask them. They'll help you out. And there you see what Zeph's done there, guys. We are a trading team. We're there to help each other. The only time it gets a little out of sync, and Zeph gets it right and I get it wrong, which has happened more times than I like to admit. Then, of course, it's slightly, no, I don't agree with those rules. But apart from that, I'm kidding. Yeah, but seriously, this is where we're all kicking the same goalpost. And if Zeph's wrong, he'll be the first to put his hand up, or I don't know, well, fine, he's wrong. I'm sure he would as well. This business teaches you humility, and the quicker you learn that humility, the quicker you'll get through it and forget your bloody ego, leave that behind you, and you'll learn a lot more how to handle the down and enjoy the absolutes of the markets. Okay. But if you let your ego get in the way and your pride get in the way, and, oh, I know this, oh, you can't tell me anything, it will come back and smack. That's one of the reasons why I'm obviously teasing Zeph now in a complimentary way, is I wanted him to have a different view, and I hoped in a way, funny enough, I'd be wrong, to show how we can be confident enough to have different ideas and nobody's a messiah in this game. Okay. Some of them more than others, I get that, but no one's a messiah. Okay. Right, having said that, I didn't see any more trade ideas come up. So if they do, we'll often find one. We have got one out today, the Euro JPY, which was your idea, wasn't mine. And last I looked, it was doing okay. Market very, very iffy at the moment. It's about 20 pips, a little bit less than that, just under 20 pips in profit. That's okay. Very, very, very sideways. It's going to open in 2 minutes, so I better pretty well keep an eye on that. at 30:30 for the American opening. NZD-CHF before we switch over the NAS and the shares. NZD-CHF, it's slightly in profit. We've got 81, it's about 7-8, but it's been sideways all day. Here we go. There's my alarm to go over to the NAS for the 4:30 opening. I'll make it a little bit. Once we get the opening, we'll see how it moves. Will it be up or down? Having a clue. Remember, it's the guys, big boys, opening up and closing their spot position on opening. So down or up market will jump around to itself in the direction of some, hopefully of some sort, probably sideways the way it's going, and then we can see the shares as they open. Coming off a little bit on opening. Just give it a few more moments to go over the shares and see how they're doing. You might get a rise and not see a bit of luck. Well, might not actually, because everything's back to front. As Brent's going up, and probably find Oxy will come off just to go with the contrariness of the market. But kidding apart or sour grapes apart, we might get a bit of movement positive on that one. But we'll have a look at this now. This is well for guys like this NASDAQ restart. They've heard about it somewhere. Thinks the lights to print money, very sexy, and they go in and they don't realize on opening up before how the thing jumps around. As you can see, it hasn't even opened a minute, and already it's jumped 22 pips up and down. I've seen it jump 50, 60 pips in a minute as well. If you got in the NASDAQ, you got a £5 account, you'd have been stopped out. Maybe a long or short, you'd be stopped out. Not been stopped out, sorry. When it hit your stop, you'd be margin called. And I've had guys say, why take money to be margin called? What's that? They trade in the markets and don't know the dangers of it. Well, not the dangers, but the ups and downs of it. In fact, I'm not sure where the problem is in the UK. You can't trade this without taking some sort of questionnaire showing you understand properly what leverage is and the pros and cons of it. There's too many people trading this without knowing what leverage is. Morris Smith, he's doing well. He's good. He's just, Morris, good to have you. I just say you're doing well, eh? You're only started a while ago. You've taken the lessons, you take the discipline. You can have bad days, Morris. I can promise you. I'm sorry to say, but overall, you should have more good than bad. You're doing fine. Right, it's jumping around. Let's go look at this now. It's popped up a little bit LUV, I think. It's popped a little bit, but you're protected by a modification, your stop loss, so you shouldn't be able to lose in this trade if something drastic goes wrong. We'll go through your, we'll call it slippage, it goes through your stop, but I don't think it's going to happen, so you should be okay. So you should be fine whatever happens, able to come off again just now. Let's look at other ones. BA, some people might still be in it. What do we get? One BA is 180, what is it? 186, I think it was. Where's BA? It's written it down here. 177, one way around. Okay, it's popped up a bit. That's BA for you, it's doing its own thing. Baba, we're out, so let's leave Baba. Brent's coming off again, just as well we left today. Might set another opportunity, Baba, by the way. Come back to that in a minute. We'll settle down. It's a bit early at the moment. Meta and what was it now?
I got stopped out on Meta.
Is it? Is it jumped up? Is it? You must
Yes.
have modified this. Oh, you must have. Oh, you probably put it very, very tight then, because to be stopped out at that means you obviously modified your stop. It was only about $2-3 away. Fair enough. You probably scratched even or made a buck. I don't know. But people are getting stopped too close, funny, or anybody there, it's funny. That can happen. That's why I mentioned yesterday, I think it was, suggest leave the stop where it is for the time being. We don't want to move it to entry just yet, which is 117 to be honest, because, which it seemed to go to, yeah, it went to 17 on opening, yeah, because it might get stopped down an opening noise and then come off and you're not on board. Never mind, at least you know now, okay. Microsoft, I have no problem in modifying Microsoft. Because we ended at 253, that's a long way away. So maybe a 250 stop will be fine. You will make some money if you get stopped out. and see if we can get the target on that one. Popped up, it might come off just now. Oxy, let's see what's happening on Oxy. Yeah, Oxy's doing okay. Oxy, come on, yeah, beauty. Yeah, beauty. 64, oh, we're doing okay. Oh, it's up. It's up, okay. Not as okay as I thought. We've got it to 64.70, and it's slightly up. It went up to 66 at one stage, settling down a bit now. Opening movements might settle down. We might get a bit more movement up. My worry is Brent again pulled back a bit. I don't know why it's pulled back a bit, but it has. I thought it might be start to take at 18, might even look for a trade, but still not getting us any confirmation. So I'll leave Brent, but now we're in this. Just hope that Brent does start consolidating around these levels and make a move north, and then we can be okay with this one. So let this one drift for the moment. And that's just a quick recap of the shares we're in. The sideways market is telling me at the moment, almost impossible for the smart money, never mind us, to expect which way it's going to go in any form of direction. So I think unless you can see a share you'd like to look at, we'll look at it with absolute pleasure and go into it. But other than that, I don't really see much of the share market that because of the reasons I've just given. Hope we're all clear of that. I agree with you, Cozy. I'll tell you what we're teaching at school. People how to think, which people don't seem to be able to do, how to fix a motor car, basic economics, like percentage interest rates, different compound interest rates, simple interest rates. So, you know, when you buy a house, what's involved, the most important purchase of your life, you find out the hard way. Those sort of things will certainly do you far better on the practical level when you go out in the financial, real big wide world out there than some of the stuff they teach you. Because I've come across a friend of mine is an attorney, been an attorney for a long time. She's in her 60s now and has her own business, labor law. And she's not broke, but she's certainly not comfortably off, always battling. She's no clue about money. Knows about law, nothing about money. So basic economics, how to think, so you're not caught every time by half these bloody misinformation you read about, and you know, basically how to fix a car, so you're not getting ripped off. And when you go, know what you do, when you go and buy a property and things like that, and savings and all that, and percentages, so you don't get caught in debt on credit cards with 20% and what the impact means, things like that. Most of you, if you had the discipline and had that schooling, most of you, by the time you're 40, you'd be comfortably off, instead of comfortably off in debt. And even though you're on a very good salary, you studied hard, you got your degree, nice fat salary, and all you got is debt around your neck. Because all you've been sold is buy this car, buy these shoes, buy this fancy, I don't know, fridge, fancy, whatever. All these nice durable things, all on tick because it's sexy and you can show off the Joneses, and all you're buying is debt. You're leveraging by buying it on tick. That's what leverage is all about. You put a deposit down and buying on tick. The thing is, you're leveraging a liability. When you buy a car and you don't buy it cash, you're using leverage, not on an asset, but on the liability. When you think of it that way, it's pretty scary, hey? Yeah, I think a basic economic understanding would make a difference to a lot of clever people's lives out there, and even people who are not so clever, but made a difference. But they don't really teach the basics. They teach you all sorts of stuff, and most of it's forgotten and not much value to you anyway. Remember Paul Simon? All the crap I learned at high school, it's the wonder I know anything at all. Remember that song? Old enough to remember that, goes way back. Yeah, basically. Okay, right. Forex. What is the dollar doing? Let's go back to euro, dollar, anything happening there. Looks all sideways. So it might be a information kind of a trading room this afternoon because it's not much happening. The jobless claims, sod all happened there, as you quite rightly pointed out. 2:30 expected, 2:30 on the nail. Lagarde speaking again at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure much. She's going to repeat what she said earlier on today. Euros dancing around. Nothing particularly major came out, as you can see from the 15-minute chart. When I get a picture, look at that. Nothing happening. Look at that. Nothing happening. Look at that. Look at that. See what I mean? So even that's darting around. AUD, USD, anything happening there? Not pretty, but trying to stop you out, and then it's coming off again. Anything's happening there. GBP, USD, same sort of principle there. Look at this one here. It's holding below 122 for the moment. Pop up. We did that an hour or so ago, then comes off. Completely aimlessly, blown by the tide, the wind, engines are switched off, waiting for some direction. I used to in the Merchant Navy, and we used to sometimes sit there drifting around, waiting for orders from the company to come through to tell us where to go and pick up cargo, where to go to. That's drifting around, waiting for direction. Same kind of principle. Okay, look at the NAS, probably the same thing on the 15-minute. Now it decided to come off. Now we've been open for 9 minutes, and look at this movement. 76 pips. That's set on a micro, that's about 120 Rand. That's 25% of a 500 Rand account. You get the point. That just is, you can't hack that on small amounts. Cannot do it. Okay. Now, as Debbie mentioned, oh yeah, let's go back to gold. So I'm trying to check the yields quickly. Yields going up a bit. That's interesting. That's bad for gold. Unfortunately, the dollar index is touching around the 105 mark. If that can go up, that's bad for gold. I'm going to do my normal thing here. Copy and paste. There might be somebody new. I know there is, but it won't take long. If you already got it, obviously ignore it. It's fair, I have to say that. I've seen guys as well get a trade idea. They went in yesterday on it because it's still come back to where it was the day before. It's reposted, so they go in again. So now they're 100% overexposed, you know? That's the right figure. Hope you all know when I say on my signals, go in, I don't know, 11.505 or whatever it is, long or better. So, or better means that if you're going up, the price is lower, then you want to go, it's a better price going at market. And if it's just selling short, or better means it's a higher price, that's a better price. Don't mean you put a sell stop in or a buy stop in going long. No, it's a better price. That's what it means. Okay. Just a bit of basics there. Okay. And have the ship sailed? Well, you want to, depends how volatile it is. Let's take something here. Make it gold, yeah. Yeah, we want to go in at this particular price here, short, right? If it's at 1784, it's quite a lot. So you do your risk calculator. Now, are you getting a risk reward? What you're comfortable with on it. If not, you miss the trade, the ship has sailed. It might come back again, goes up and down, or the ship has sailed. But, you know, I've sent time down, enter around that figure or better, and they look at it maybe a couple hours later, let's say, aim at 1750 and 1808 or whatever the stop loss is, and it's come down about $8, and they go in blind and go into it. Now the risk reward is completely out of kilter, and on top of it, the risk is, let's say, 100 Rand a micro. Now that risk is about 180 Rand a micro. So they're grossly overexposed. So again, check the price, a couple of cents below, it doesn't matter. You've got to use a better common sense here. But I mean, if it's a way different, no. Yeah, we missed it now. I want to do this one. No, I suddenly missed it now. Never mind. Probably bounce back up again. Been doing that all day. So yeah, comes back again. I'm looking for a short on this. We might be able to get it. If not, we'll find something else. Anyway, so keep an eye on that gold. If it gets back to near 1788, somewhere around about or better, of course, we'll have a look and maybe we can grab this one. That's a trading idea, if you like it, that is. Okay, that's really me finished on trading ideas and chit chat. I can help you with setting up how your charts are if it's quiet, position size calculator. You all know your volumes now. Anything like that, I can assist you with. Because like it said in that thing, which that I told you about, Zeph Pacey, you've got to have that volumes right. I don't care if you've got 500,000 Rand in your account. If you don't get your volumes right, the only difference you and the guy who's got 1,000 Rand is you'll blow more money. Because if you don't get the volumes right, it'll bite. That's the trouble with people with a lot of money. You think they're above the law and they can buy their way out of it. Normally what happens is, I did it, okay. Get the stop loss, did it, okay, so be it. Okay, I think they buy their way out of it. No, they can't, which means you end up losing more. So money you need, but you've got to have the knowledge and the discipline to go with it. Okay. Without the money, without the discipline, without the knowledge, Hope you're a lottery winner, put it that way. Okay. Now, notice you there, Mr. Story. You've come and joined us again, just joined, or you spent 2 times with us. All that's telling me is this person wants to learn how to do it. This person tells me, I might be wrong, I never met the person, but it looks like he's in the UK at the moment. If you don't mind me sharing that, it's from Zim originally, and working out there. I don't know what he's doing out there, I didn't ask, but means already just started, and he's already done the platform training, he's on it, and he's come to a couple of trading rooms. So it's telling me I'm going to take this seriously. I know I can't be a doctor unless I make some effort. I wish other people had that attitude. They want to be doctors, this boring old study thing, stop that. And the snake oil cell coming, no, you worry about this study, you'll be fed the answers, don't worry about this, on your little cheap cell phone, and away you go. Well, then, no, it doesn't quite work that way. And be surprised at how many people that is not common sense, and they falter for it. I hope I'm not being too harsh, but for your own sake, get these ideas, and it'll save you a lot of financial tears down the road. I'm not getting clever here. I have to staff things myself. We all want the pill that solves all. When I go to the hairdresser to cut my 3 hairs, I say, please make me look like Brad Pitt. You know, I don't think that's likely. And don't you laugh, ladies. I'm very sensitive. Okay, so come on, must be 1 or 2 geniuses out there. Zeph, Fani, no pressure here. Come on in, Cozy. What about a great trade of the century? Let's see if we can find a diamond out of all this junk out here. If we can find one that's doing well, I'd be quite happy. AUD/USD stopped down. Bloody hell. Where's the NZD/CHF doing? Is that going anywhere? Start to come right. Not much, at least it's starting to try and come right. Good. And the Euro JPY, that's just one. Now it's popping up again. Again, that's not much happening on that one. That's not Jeff's fault. It's just jumping around. This seems to be the norm. But anybody there? Hey, Brady, Anna Marie. Anybody there? Christopher, that's a new name you've been before. Welcome if you haven't. Welcome to the real world of trading. Hello, Anna Marie. Yeah, I saw your name. That's why I said, come on, Anna Marie. Come on, give us a trade of the century. Actually, I'm going to lure the target. Give the trade of the day. Okay, MK, first time. Great. Okay, this is ongoing. It's one of the differentiators. It's not a class by the Zoom Forex class, or what's the other one, the CFD class, where you learn the basics there. That's teaching you something as regards a class. This is more a forum where you build up on an ongoing basis. Doesn't say, now I've done 10 of these, I'll go out and I'm fine on my own now. This is ongoing. As I say, to Zeph and what's it, Mark, and you know, the regular guys here, Fani and that, I learn from you as well as the other way around. John, Morris, Mike, you know, guys been a couple of times or so, I learned both ways around, and it'll be a continued basis. Ask Knowledge, she's here. Is she here? She's been coming quite a while, and she'll be the first to say I learn something virtually every day. But Christopher and guys, if you come through, you're more than welcome, but please, you've got to know some basics. It's not a training room. I'm not here to teach you what a Bollinger Band is, etc. So if you don't know what a pip is, you don't want to standard lot is, I'll give you a quick rundown. That doesn't take 2 seconds. But to go into more depth of it, you need the basics of those classes. So if you want to learn, means you'll find it actually quite easy. If the trouble is, I'll give an example. I'm very good at table tennis, but I've heard there's much more money in football, so I'll take up football. Wrong. You've got to enjoy the vehicle to get there. If you don't, you're not going to succeed. If I'm no good at football and I'm going more because I think there's more money in it, I'm not going to make the money. Simple as that. So no, why do you want to come into it to make money? Well, yeah, we all want to make money. If you don't enjoy the vehicle to get there, you're not going to put in the hard yards to get there. That's unfortunately why a lot of people come up. They don't want to put the effort to get in there because it's boring to them. Then they're in the wrong business. And I keep saying this. I think so. I've looked at now, Mike. Keep saying this. Forget your degree in splitting the damn atom. You remember? Get your degree or PhD or your professorship in common sense. Believe me, a lot of this is about psychological, basic psychology and common sense. Don't have to degree in it, basic psychology. You have those emotions, the other guys got them as well. One thing about us, all humans, okay, the Lapland, the North Pole, the South Pole, or deepest, darkest Central American Republic, or whatever it is, I don't know, or Southern African Republic, what it's called, our human emotions are similar. Our cultures are different, but emotions come from the same area. And if you've got it, the other guys have got it as well. Right, Bubba, this cannot seem to break through here. Thanks, Mike. It cannot break through here. Can we all see this, new guys? That's the 200. Put it on. 200 simple, 50 simple. Put it on your charts and save your charts. Okay. It's come up. It's an excellent area of support resistance. Okay. It's in the neutral zone. It's not a my zone, and it cannot seem to get through. It's tried, and failed. I'm not sure we're going to have. We're still in a recession. I still see downside in the world markets. We're still, in my opinion, a bear sell the rally situation. So I am looking here for, let's go to the weekly. I'm looking here for a sell. And I think we've already maybe taken a profit on it. I think it hit the TP. It did hit the TP last time. Didn't say we'll do right the second time. Just do one last time. It's not a reason to go and jump and do it again. Like, oh, I'm not doing that again. I lost last time. That was then. This is now. I think it's another way to get it. I think we'll put it a little bit higher. See what I'm trying to do here. This guy here. See this crosshair? I want to put the stop above that because that's going back to 8th is August. Now 4 months ago. So put the stop above there. See what I mean? That's $9.50. We did that yesterday. So what's the risk? $9.50 a share. That's about what? 160, 165 rand a share, plus minus, off the top of my head. So there we are. So now we know. Can we get a risk reward? We'll take it down here. That will just about squeeze it down there. So let's not get too cute. Maybe we can take it down there. Okay. You can have a tighter stop if you want. I don't agree. I think should rather get a slightly wider stop, enjoy the noise, not enjoy the noise, allow for the noise, and hopefully the downswing, as you can see here, the downswing will kick in. Even if it pops up a bit, you protect your stop, and it worked out. But if it does hit your stop, it's going to annoy you and not hurt you financially. Because you remember the position side we just read out earlier on? I go on about it. Please implement it. So if you like that, we'll do it. Okay, it's not this calculator here. It's the, you should all have it. Go to resources, section only on your LMS and have it there. But at the same time, I'll just do it for you. Because the maths are greatly simple. It's 10-year-old stuff, so I'll do it for you anyway. If you like it, you tell me, I'll write it down. So, I'll give me a moment, I'll write it down. Don't forget, if you're doing the share, don't forget, put the full stop afterwards. So it's BABA, full stop. Don't forget that, as you can see up there. Right, stop loss, what was it again? 105, and that's far too far. That's a bit better. 101, that's further than I thought. Let's do it about there. I think it's wide. Okay, make it 101. It's a little bit wider than I thought anyway. So EP, going at market, we'll make it whatever is on there now. It'll jump around, doesn't matter. Make it 85, doesn't really matter. Plus minus that area there. SL, make it 100. CP, just a second, I'll do it in a minute. Make it 75.50. It should be around about at least 1.5 to 1.8 and 25. Oh yeah, it's more than 2 to 1. Perfect. And then the risk is just take one from the other. Plus 100 minus 925. That's 7.15. Okay, that's $7.15, which is in rands. What's that? 770, 49, 20. It's about 120 bucks. So 120 bucks per 1.0, guys. Not 0.01. Forget it. No, this is different. Shares of volumes are much higher. Contract size is 1. On Forex is 100,000.
Just what you call it, baby man. I'm not, I swear it. Nothing. It's always on my demo account. It's always.
Beg your pardon?
That's it, baby.
What's that? You're talking to me? What's that? I missed that. Chris, go on.
I like learning, man. Oh,
Are you talking to me or is it
wanting
private?
to improve my lives.
Now, please mute
I know you do.
everybody.
Mute him.
Sure, baby.
I like to say now, but I'm glad you're coming to learn here, but you should really use the demo card there. The trading room is for people with real accounts. So I want to reiterate that, guys. Do not ask me their opinion or advice on a demo trade. Demo is only there for two reasons. One, so you know how to operate the platform, so don't press the wrong button. We call it fat finger in the trade. And the other one is to try out a new strategy. Don't try and think you're going to learn how to trade without the emotions. Most of trading is emotions. If you trade without emotions, you're learning nothing. It's like thinking you're going to win a golf tournament with $1 million when you've been practicing in the practice driving range. Driving range, 6 foot putt, and $1 million 6 foot putt, different psychological ballgame. So yeah. Anyway, that being as it may, that's the trade. It's about 120 bucks per 1.0. You can work it out from there. You can fractionalize it. If you can only afford 180 round risk, you go 1.5. But I'm trying to get off people to doing like 0.01 because of a habit. It's understandable. It's like driving on the left. It's a habit. Okay. And then you suddenly put in and wonder why it's not working for you because you're under, this time, grossly underexposed. Okay. So if you like it, don't forget, you cannot do anything with it outside 3:30 or outside 11:30. That's when the market is open. So if you try to modify, change your stop, add, do anything with it, you can't. 3:30 is when it opens, 11:30 when it closes. Just bear that in mind. And the same for all markets at the weekend. Okay. Forex goes around the clock during the week and the commodities and the indices. Okay. Sometimes talk about futures and spot. I can go to it. I'm not going to go into it now. I think just rather Google it. Okay. When the traders come to their desk in America, that's what we call the spot market. You have the Dow spot market, the Dow futures market. The Dow futures go around the clock. The spot market only enters as the cash market. The traders get to their desk at 4:30. If you're not sure of that spot and futures market, what's the difference? Google it, and we'll give you some sort of answer there. Okay, if you're interested, because I think you should have it. Okay, anyone like this trade or not? You suggested Mike, and I agree with you. You still sticking with that, Mike? Anne-Marie not too keen. Mike likes it. Fair enough. That's what I want you to do. Anne-Marie's not keen. Joe likes it. Mary doesn't. We want that to get a feedback. Okay, that's great. Okay, right. Well, 3 people like it. I'll put it down. I'm assuming from that, Anne-Marie, you don't want to buy it. You want to stay out of it. Okay, okay. Well, that's an interesting comment for a person who's first time here. Hasn't broken through yet. Stay out, gets that. So clearly that telling me when a person makes a statement like that means he's done some of this before. No person who's never been near a trading room before, trading anything to a trading floor, would make a statement like that unless they've had some experience. Good to know. Okay, MK, I have a point. You want to break through above here to buy it, or a breakthrough further down? Not quite sure. It gives a bit of support resistance. If you're looking short, got a bit of support there. Maybe a confirmation of breakdown. No problem with that. Maybe I'm being a bit aggressive here. But the overall picture, the downtrend, a bit of sideways movement, we've still got recession looming there, still in the bear market. I think I can forgive myself for being a little bit aggressive, but we've got a reasonable stop to protect in case it bounces up a couple of bucks. Okay, bye-bye. Like all things, it's not a problem of doing 180 if you know you're doing it. So when you don't know you're doing 180, in 120 zone where the problem comes in, and that's what people are getting into trouble with. They don't know they're actually driving too fast. 92.85, 100. And what's the other one? 75.50. Don't forget, if you don't get to 75.50, and you can always, as I say, modify. But don't get it too close, like 500 there. It might turn out as all right. It might have buck or two on Meta, and it goes up. Probably thank goodness he did do it. But trying to get your stop too close. Don't want to get stopped out in the noise, and then it goes on and reaches the destination, and you made a 1 unit, and you could have made 5 or 6. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay. We had quite a big lunch earlier. I'm a bit greedy, it's a bit thirsty. Excuse me. Rise you out of it. Okay, excuse me. Where were we? Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. You're worried it might open up the next day, so you thought just cramming in to protect yourself. I'm going to be honest with you, finally, and I think you're man enough to admit it. I think that was more fear than rational judgment coming in. Yeah. I have to say it, my friend. Don't take it the wrong way. That is so non-unique. That's just so normal. If you think you're unique, I'm sorry to say, my friend, that is quite normal. Be surprised, actually, in most sort of basic things, how similar we all are. Frightening. So the major difference is cultural take, but deep down, you know, we're pretty much the same. Except, you know, some guys are just much more fantastic than others. But I mean, what can I say? But joking about, you know, we're pretty bloody similar when it comes to fear and greed, eh? Okay, right. Anything else you want to check? I'm keeping on this CAD JPY. Nothing sodding all happening. Go back to, I think it's NK there. It's NK, yep. We'll wait for a break. If I'm going to buy this, I'm going to wait for that break. This is a weekly chart. I get it. Maybe look at the daily chart. Remember, I do my stats, my strategy on the daily. Look, just look at that action. 5 days. Look at the body on that. 90 pips, a bit more than I expected, actually. But that being as it may, I'd be waiting for a break above here or a break above this guy here. Confirm break. Pop up maybe on the Monday. I'll come back and test it. Then we can hold a stop down here. TP up there. We should be away. So this is where patience, like it says in that write-up we had on the opening of the session, that's when you need the patience. And there's easy other things to do, but where it becomes difficult is when you're new, yeah, full of the, you know, full of the new excitement of it. I can't wait to get trading, full of it, and then have to just join a quiet patch. Now you're frustrated, annoyed, or you're full-time and you're on your own and you're bored. So if you are a full-time trader, I have a trader to keep me company. I actually get paid a couple of bucks. Oh, I'm getting money for elsewhere, but anyway. But anyway, it's like a forum for me. It's like company for me. Suggest you find a group and share it so you can talk a bit about football or cricket or rugby or whatever in quieter moments and tease each other and not jumping out of boredom just as they go, God, it's got to go. I can't handle it. I'm gonna go and do this bloody thing. And usually Sod's law means that one will come back and kick you. You know, it's like everything. You've got 3 trades, right? And we've got the right position size in A and B and the wrong one on C. A and B come right and C is the baddie. And that's where you got your position size wrong, you're overexposed. No, that couldn't be the right one. No, that couldn't be the one, I think. No, that had to be the wrong one. Don't forget, cardinal rule is Sod's law. Scientists laugh at you, but it seems to exist. We call it the commentator's curse. Be aware of it, my friend. Be aware. I'm sure you know what I mean. Okay, CHF JPY. I'm trying to get this thing going, but either I'm missing it or it's trying to get it, nothing happens. Look at this one here. Sellers coming in. Look at the wick. See where I'm going with this, guys? The wick is telling you the sellers are coming in. As it comes down, the buyers are coming in. So, like I say, you live in Joburg, and one wants to go to Durban, the other one wants to go to Bella Bella, and you're busy there going towards, let's say, Bella Bella. That's up north, okay? And then you change your mind, you come south, and there's Durban down here, and you change your mind, you go back to Bella Bella, then you change your mind, and you're hovering around the next 6 hours, and I'm going out of Joburg. You've got Pretoria, Heidelberg, Pretoria, Heidelberg, and then suddenly you're still in Joburg. That's what's happening there. Man, how frustrating that is. That's what seems to be happening, not just on this one here, but the market generally. So this is because the big boys still are not sure of where the market is going themselves. Are we in a fat recession? Are we not? Are we nearing the end of the bear market? Are we going into a bear market fully? Or are we going to change around a bull market? Nobody has a cooking clue, and that's where they're keeping things fairly dry volumes are down, and the even guys on bigger accounts are going for smaller positions and grabbing smaller times in the market because it is so directionless. It's not always like this, as you know. If you can get through the tough times, then you'll be a trader. This is where like going to, you know, obviously I've done it, and they go on these selections, the special operations like this, SAS. This is the way they see if the strong ones get wheedled, the weak ones get wheedled out, and the strong ones come through. So if you can stick it out to the tough times, then you know you're in the trading business. Okay, that's where we wheedle out the guys who give up at first hurdle. The emotions taken over, they say. Well, they got clever and it came back and it hit them and it knocked up their pride. Now they're all upset and then they blame everybody else. This is to say, you learn humility pretty quick in this market. If you're not humble, trust me, you're a beginning trader. I haven't met a single experienced trader that is not humble. They've all been there. Hey, Zeph. Hey, Fanny. Hey. Yeah, just when you think you're God, that's about 2 seconds before you fall flat in your face. Okay. Let's have a look. Any trades? It is, yeah. And to say finally, you do pretty quickly learn to, you know, I'm sorry I'm not doing trades. I hope I'm not boring you, but these sort of cycle impacts are very important because I would say what we've been talking about in the last hour is 90% of where people who are reasonably intelligent, pretty good at their own job, holding down businesses, etc., are screwing up. These sort of things here. Basics, complete utter basics, not degrees in the subject. And I expect one or two of you said, yeah, I've done that myself. Oh no, you're so right. Oh goodness, yeah. We've all done it, trust me. All of it, all of us. Remember my first trade all those years ago. I thought they knew, couldn't believe. My first trade went wrong. I couldn't believe it. I phoned them up. And they had a quick explanation. No, my marked variables. Luckily, I was interested enough to find out, instead of arguing the guy, and say, okay, maybe at that point I'll learn from that. Well, I do get annoyed when you've got a one-day course in medicine and you're arguing against a doctor who's trying to help you, then I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Get a lot of that. Oh, no. Fair enough. I know my trading. Well, you don't. You ask me questions. Yeah? Anything else you'd like to look at, guys? And the trading, we've got a Bubba out, so thank you. Good point there. See, Mike came up with that. Mike down there. Mike M. Everyone thinks we bring out trade ideas, not the trading room. No. Pretty even Stevens, I think. Long thought we're going to have a day with nothing, and then you guys come up with one. Right, mine was NZDCHF. Jess was the Euro JPY. I chicken on that one. Right, mine was dollar ZAR. God, that's a good point. What was that thing doing? We're still hovering. We've got it at 1710. It's slightly up. But the big question, what do you mean slightly up? It should be shooting the lights out. Don't know what it's doing down there. That's an indecision candle after 17 hours. What is so indecisive about the problems we're having here? It's pretty straight, obvious we're having there. That thing should be shooting up. Right, NK. The man to speak to is not me on this one. The man to speak to, I think he's still here, it's Seth, unless he's busy. He's the one that likes this one. He's left, pity. He had to leave, okay. I don't trade this very often, to be honest. I find, well, not at the moment, prove me wrong, actually. I often find they're pretty similar. You know, let's go on the weekly. You see what I mean? You'll have the Aussie being the kingpin, and then you have the Kiwi being the kingpin. At the moment, clearly the NZD is the kingpin because the Aussie is going down. How long that's going to last, I don't know. I think we could get a bounce anytime now. But go back to that NK saying, I prefer to look at the bounce when it gets above here to confirm. Because a couple of times, well, yeah, it's got a bounce from here, and the bloody thing didn't. It continued going down. And then Zeph, who's not here, he's a regular on here, said, I'm thinking short to get. Oh, go for it, mate. I'm the chicken out on this one. And it did come off even further. And you know what I mean? You think this is going to bounce from here, and it didn't. It's going to bounce from here, and it didn't. So I honestly don't know. It's clearly in the sell zone below the 200, and it's below the 50, clearly below the 10-day moving average, just clearing the sell zone. But hey, man, it's moved, what's this? It's moved 900 odd pips since when? Since the last 4 months. Surely Aussie's not that bad, or anyone expert in the Aussie economy? I know a bit about it, but I'm not a walking economist on it. But surely it's somebody must like it somewhere. You know what I mean? Must have some value somewhere. Oh, right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Trying to speak to client. I think it was a phone the other day. What's his name? I forget now. Couldn't have a conversation with him because it was such a racket hailstorm. I get you. D1 will go, yeah, D1 will have a look. Clearly, all right, you've traded before, MK. Clearly, I like it. Okay, yeah, that's clear again. The sell zone without doubt. Pops down, and now it's got to be resistance and probably come off again. I tell you what, my friend, you got bigger gonads than me if you want to set it down here, but I'm certainly not going to buy it yet. There's no confirmation. But you certainly got bigger gonads than me if you want to set it down there. Do you want to sell it from here? Maybe get some moral support from other trading Rambos. I'm a bit of a trading wuss on this one, I'm afraid. What do you feel? I'm assuming you want to short it. Anyone any opinions on this one? I'm putting my hand up. I'm scared to chase this any further down, even though it has bounced support. I get you on that one completely. I'm just nervous of it at these levels. I think it's got to have some bounce, surely. In theory. I'm dead scared, yeah. Well, I said that on a lot of things. It's just continued going up, defying gravity. So I missed out. But I think I'm going to miss out again because I'm not going to go for it. If someone else wants to, I'll put it up like I did the Euro-Japanese yen. And it was doing okay at one stage. If anyone wants to sell it, fine. I would hesitate on buying it yet. We haven't got any confirmation. So if you're leaning towards it, rather it's no, buy it. That's the right word. That's just being a bit too gung-ho. But selling it is I suppose you could have a slight cause for selling it on these last few days, but I'm scared. I'll be honest. I'm scared. Okay. Okay. Anybody not scared? Anyone want to do this? Oh, hang on. Dirt says stuck again. What's the time in the States now? It's 8 hours. Behind it. No, it'll be up. So it's a problem. I'll fix it. Yeah. Budget. Thanks for that. Let's just quickly check. 1630. Netflix 1630. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Just put it out to me. WhatsApp, so do it. Thanks for pointing that out. Things nothing happening. Where's trading support? Give me a second. Okay, I posted on there. Hope it gets it. But no. If you want, and that happens, and you're frustrated, all you do, if you don't, I can show you. Thank you, Grady. Look at it now. 10 me for a buy. No, it's not. It's still in the sell zone. You could go further. He's come back immediately. He's nice and awake on it. Good. So he's working on his holiday in Houston. Good for him. Okay, so he's working on it. Before we come to gold, which I'll do right now, It's still in the sell zone, in the cozy. That is a bit beyond Rambo to try and buy, but it's coming while they wait for confirmation. It's still selling. So as they say, don't catch a falling sword. Now I'm getting the rain. It's not Helden, matter of fact, rain. I'm getting it now. They say, do not catch a falling sword. Remember that. And the sword could be still falling. Gold. I like it for sure. I think, thanks for reminding me of that, Brady. It's on the board. Hope you can hear me. I like for short, stop up here. That's fine. Stop, take it down 1850. I like it. There you are. Plenty risk reward. You can see 36 bucks at 0.01. If you like it, you can do it. And then print on there. Don't unmute because I won't hear you. It's a complete racket out there, as you can probably hear. Yeah, I've mentioned that. Quite a few. I didn't nominate the shares finally. I said there's quite a few shares of stuff. And Jart's come back, so he's looking into it as we speak, if you can hear me. So anybody like this one? If you do, please print. Don't let me know verbally because I won't hear you. Does yes mean you like it? Okay, great. All right. Remember, Chris, if you're on the demo, this is only for live accounts. I'm happy you're here, but the trading room is all about live accounts. It's not about demos. You don't trade in the demo, you're wasting your time. If you want to trade, you've got to learn on the demo how to operate the platform. Once you know what button to press, which clearly you do, you start going to do it, get off that demo and do it live. Because you learn nothing but fake reality on the demo. And the trading ostensibly is about live, not people playing around with computer games, which a demo is. Okay. Right. So I've got it written down. There's a lot of guys, well, 1 or 2 guys that are in, so that's fine. Good enough. Let's see how that works out. So well done, guys. We've got out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades today, which is about 4 more than I expected. Well bloody done. Check the XY. Yeah, it's around about the 105. I haven't got it at that, not 101.9. I've got 105, or just below 104.89. 104.9 will do, yeah. That's fine. Look at the yields. The yields are still, it's okay. Been popping up a little bit. That's, to be honest, I think that's why gold has gone up there, because that's come off a bit. But it's down at support on the hourly on both of them, and that is still holding technically. And if the DXY comes off a bit more, there'll be a lot of profit taken on the longs there, a lot of TPs there, which will be sell orders. Remember, your TP or is an either a sell order on the long or a buy order on the short, and the same with the stop order, same with the SL. Okay, so I think there'll be a lot of guys having a look at that, maybe exiting. So as we speak, it's already come off a few cents, not much, but there might be a bit of profit taken there anyhow. But let's say we hope the 105 is recaptured, we get a bit of a jump, but if we don't, we've got our stop loss to protect us, and we've worked out the correct position size. So you know you're going to take a knock occasionally. We've worked it out, think it's okay. We take the knock, we handle it. If it's a profit, what a pleasure. That's the way you should be looking at it. So you should be able to switch the computer off now and not be sweating blood because you're overexposed. You're not thinking correctly. This is so absolute in trading. Okay. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I learned this the hard way. I started off about 20 years ago with about 60,000 US dollars. And within a month or two, I just about lost about 10 or 15, about to give it up. With dollars, not rands, I might add. And I decided to stick it out, get a bit more professional. And then I went into a fantastic bull run. And then the opposite occurred. I was God now. I couldn't go any wrong. Went for a bull to bear run. And then my biggest loss is 40,000, that's ranks to be fair, in one day on one share. Simran Jacks, I'll never forget it, because I was pig-headed, I was God, I didn't listen, and the thing went from a screaming bull to a bear, and I learned what's the market and learn humility. So there we go. Right, okay. When I worked $60,000 from, I came out at the age of 40 in the Merchant Navy. I was made redundant and I had a reasonable rank. So I got quite a decent package, you know what I mean? So, so I had a bit of backstep. Okay, but I didn't have any help. All the people teaching me are completely, utterly clueless. What I know now, you know more than the guys teaching me the markets when I started. All of you, not all of you, but certainly the Flanders and Johnson and then whatever, know more now after a month here than the guys who are actually teaching me then. Everyone's having a bandwagon teaching under clue. I didn't know any better. I soon found out, better find out for yourself. Plus, I didn't have the technology then either. And certainly didn't have a trading room. And no help from the brokers. I'm pretty sure half of them didn't have a clue either. They put the order in and got their brokers and didn't really know. But some of the questions looking back, they said, I'm convinced what I know now, they didn't. So anyway, we shall see. It's easing off a bit of the rain, so try not to shock too much. But anyway, got that trade out. We can't check the Baba because they're working on it. If you see it sudden move, Baba or Microsoft, let me know, and then we can do something. Euro JPY, that was Jethro's. I remember I didn't go for it, but I could be wrong. It's coming off again, so he's slightly in profit. Well done, Jethro. Dollar ZAR, bloody hell, is anything happening there? It's trying to move up. Maybe something will happen there. And NZDCHF, anything happening here? Come on, where are we now? We got an 81. What's it doing at the moment? Let's knock this off. Okay, it's not much, but it seems on the blue rather than the red. So let's try. Look at that indecision candle. This candle just about says it all. You guys, that's what we call an indecision candle. That's the worst candle of the lot. All right, okay, yeah. Well, now I know you've been trading because you've been honest about it. The guys who don't know about trading are some of the most arrogant, knowledgeable, pseudo-knowledgeable people I've ever come across. And you get a lot in this business, I tell you. You know they don't know when they say, I do know. Oh, I know that, don't I know that? And then they suddenly ask you a question, which indicates immediately they don't know. Okay, so that is telling me number one that you do know. But I picked it up anyway, a couple of comments you made. That candle's a work in progress, but it's like me, it's an old candle, and it's still indecisive. But you're picking stuff up, NK. Because what I'm trying to sell here is honesty. It's not, you know, that's my sales pitch here, is honesty. So, because there's so much BS in this, it's scary. So I hope the little bit you've joined, you can pick up that we're trying to do it properly here. I want to say if you screw up, it's not my bloody fault, in other words. If it is, I admit it, but often it's not. It's their own person not doing it properly, not listening or whatever. But you've only been, what, an hour or so. I hope you learned something. If I want to back up, I'll probably ask someone like Marius or Farney. I think they'll back me up on this. They'll learn a bit here, right? Or John or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so there's another big piece of advice. Next time you see a trader who knows a lot, run in the opposite direction. Okay, coming pretty close to the witching hour. So I've been enjoying the trade room from the companionship I've got from you, the family, whatever you like this week. Even though the trades have been bad, I suppose. I've shot the lights out, but I have to say I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I feel we're getting a nice little group together, and we're all now trying to work as a team. A couple of shares are still stuck. It means a couple of shares are not stuck, which haven't at least been fixed. So that's probably trying to make some good news there. Netflix, we're not in that, but still some people might be. Microsoft still is. Just quickly check on Microsoft, see what the price is. Maybe there might be a slightly different price today because the market makers choose their price. Let's see what we'll put on here. Give me a moment. Give me about, I'll tell you. All this stuff getting in the way. Give me a moment. Let's bring it up. I wish I'd brought it up now. It's gone up just over $1. So according to this one now, it's 246. No, it's come off a bit this week. It's 246, and just now, just below, just moved down below 246. So it's gone up a little bit, but we've got it at 253. Those are in it with a modifier to stop, so you're protected anyway. But it probably might come off again. What does the 1 mean at the top? That means 1 share. Sorry, no, that means the contract size. Beg your pardon. That's the contract size. No, it doesn't. No, sorry, talking rubbish. No, if you go into the, I'll show what I mean. See what you're on about now. If you go into a new order, it's just a demo, don't worry about this. Go to new order and you put the new order in at 0.02 for argument's sake. When you go on to the next one, let's say 0.02. That's a very good point you made there. When you go into an order of, let's say, 1 on a share, it'll immediately default to that 1. So when you go into the Forex, clearly you can't go into 1 on the Forex, it's too big. So you wonder why it won't take your entry, because it defaults to 1. You've got to change it back to 0.01 or 0.04 or whatever. So that was the previous one that was shown on there. Does that make sense? In this case, I think it was, to be honest, it was a Forex one. So it's just, all that was just the previous order defaulted to, the position size, yeah. So that's a very good point at practical level. So you went in, obviously, I just want to go through the contract while we're on gold. Gold is only 35 pips a micro because the contract size is 10. Now that's the same contract size as, let's say, the Dow, which is 34,000, which is extremely different to 1800s, you know. So when you go into the gold, you might go into 0.05 or 0.1. It'll be defaulted to 0.1. Now you want to go into CHF-JPY for argument's sake, and without thinking you want to buy it, you do. The problem is now you're automatically at 0.1 when you're meant to go into 0.04, and now you're panicking. You're wondering why it's moving so quick, because you're overexposed. So always check the volume because it's defaulted to your last trade. Very good point. Thanks for mentioning that. I forgot to mention that. We've all been caught, including myself before, as the old bugger. So another little tip, even if you're practiced at it, just check the volume, the stop loss TP. That's not too worried about it. You always modify that. And make sure, is it a sell or a buy? And make sure it's the right instrument. I've done that before. Meant to go in, I don't know, US dollar JPY. I've gone, let's do another one, probably more likely one. I meant to go in the NZD USD, and by mistake, I missed it, did that, rushed in, did my order, and I'm going long on the wrong one when I want to go short on the other one or whatever. You get the idea. So quick check, right instrument, correct volume, you've got your position size right. Even if you miss a few pips in the movement, don't panic on it, so be it. Rather get that correct and make sure it's a buy or a sell, so there's no recriminations afterwards. I'll be honest, I don't do that very often now, but I've done it, and it's quite common when you start, and it can end up in tears. And it, again, Sod's law kicks in. If you go in at 10 when you meant 1, almost guarantee it'll go the wrong way. I don't know why the deity punishes you for making that mistake, but it should be 50-50. I'm telling you, 90% it'll come back and hit. I don't know why that is, but that's called the laws of Sodoramia. You see what I mean? Sorry, I'm shouting, such a racket in the background. Okay, just before we shoot off at 5:30, we'll do it again tomorrow morning. Remember, tomorrow, no afternoon session. Okay, it's going up now, so not thanks for gold, it's gone up a bit. But anyway, we'll see how it works out. But no afternoon session tomorrow, just the morning one, and I'll catch you there. Okay, guys, it's such a racket out there. It's probably just 5:30. Been a bit quiet trading wise. Hope we get a bit more action tomorrow. And then we'll take it from there, going to the weekend. Yeah, I hope we made the time constructive by going through some bits and pieces, which even more experienced guys don't even think about, realize, hang on a minute, we could tweak that. Okay, thanks very much, MK. That is a pleasure to hear that. That's what it is. I'm here for, to try and get people to learn properly, because I know how much, especially guys like yourself, who've been trading a while, and you get by more BS and stuff, trying to get it on the right track. And don't blame the trading, it's the buggers who have been coming up with nonsense. So try and get it right. Okay, fantastic knowledge, fantastic everybody. And yeah, catch you for this rainy, I hope the sun comes out tomorrow. Cheers, hey. Bye. Just ready.